Progress is a commitment to people, a commitment to making today and tomorrow the best time of your life. It wasn't always easy. At every turn in our history, there was always someone saying, turn back, turn back. But there is no turning back. Not for us, not for our carousel. The challenge always lies ahead. And as long as man dreams and works and builds together, these years too can be the best time of your life.
Now is the time. Now is the best time. Now is the best time of your life. Life is a prize. Live every minute. Open your eyes and watch how you win. Here's to memories, sparkle and light. Tomorrow will remain. Life here and now. People come and pay. The world's forward marching and you're in the parade. Now is the time. Now is the best time. The time of joy or strife. There's so much to cheer for. Be glad you're here, for it's the best time of your life.
Well, the robins are back. That's a sure sign of spring. What year is it? Oh, just before the turn of the century. Believe me, things couldn't be any better than they are today. Yes, sir, we got all the latest things. Gas lamps, telephone, and the latest design in cast iron stoves. That reservoir keeps 5 gallons of water hot all day on just 3 buckets of coal. Sure beats chopping wood. And isn't our new icebox a beauty? Holds 50 pounds of ice. Milk doesn't sour as quick as it used to. Our dog Rover here keeps the water in the drip pad from overflowing. You know, it wasn't too long ago we had to carry water from a well. Thanks to progress, we've got a pump right here in the kitchen. Of course, we keep a bucket of water handy to prime with. Yes, sir, we've got everything to make life easier. Mother, I was reading about a fellow named Tom Edison who's working on an idea for snap-on electric lights.
I'll believe that when I see it.
That's my wife, Sarah.
But with my new wash day marvel, it takes only 5 hours to do the wash. Imagine.
That's right, folks. Now Mother has time for recreations
like canning and polishing the stove.
Okay, Mother. You just iron the wrinkles out of my shirts.
Yes, dear.
But no one can improve on nature for drying clothes. Oh, well, the cistern was low on rainwater anyway. Rover, mind your manners. You know, our home entertainment is getting better, too. With this amazing new stereoscope, my son can now see and learn all about the latest events in the world. Like the World's Fair in St. Louis.
Wowee! Look at that! What's the hoochie coochie, Dad?
Get back to your homework, son. Oh, yes, we also have one of those new talking machines. It plays music right here in our home.
Now is the time. Now is the best time.
She keeps that thing going all day long. That tail's driving me nuts. Progress.
You know, the young folks have their own ideas about entertainment. For instance, Jane, our teenage daughter, is getting ready to go to a trolley party on one of those new electric streetcars. She says hay-rides are old-fashioned.
Thanks for letting me go, Papa.
Be home by 9 o'clock, daughter.
Yes, Papa.
It's hard to imagine how life could be any easier. But there's a new couple working on bringing the same power that runs the trolley into folks' homes. And because those fellows are working that out, one thing is certain.
Now is the time. Now is the best time. Now is the best time of your life. Life is a prize. Live every minute. Open your eyes and watch how you win. Yesterday's memories, they sparkle and keen. Tomorrow is still a dream. Right here and now, you've got it made. The world's marching and you're in the parade.
this would be the age of electricity. Everyone's using it. Farmers, factories, whole towns. With electric streetlights, we don't worry so much about the youngsters being out after dark. And what a difference in our home. We can run as many wires as we need in any direction from Mother's new electrical service. An electric sewing machine, coffee percolator, toaster, waffle iron, refrigerator. And they all go to work at the click of a switch. Well, the days of lugging heavy irons from the old cook stove to an ironing board are gone forever. With an electric iron and electric lights, Mother now has time to enjoy her embroidery in the cool of the evening. Right, Mother?
Yes, dear.
Oh, by the way, we've got a phonograph now. New kind of music. Yeah. Now that's amazing news. Too bad we get so much static. I'm also getting a little static from my daughter.
I don't see any harm in my looking for a job, Daddy.
It's a man's world out there, Jane.
Well, it won't always be, Father.
Now cut that out, Queenie. You're supposed to be man's best friend. Well, we've got indoor plumbing now. Saves a lot of walking. In our new bathroom, we've got a house guest. Cousin Orville. And as usual, he's taken over the coolest spot in the house. I will say one thing for him, though. Orville's rigged up something pretty clever. He calls it air cooling. Too bad he's not really going to help want it.
No privacy at all around this place.
Sorry, Orville. You know, considering all the conveniences we have, it looks as though we've made real progress in making our lives easier. And when we read about the things those research people are working on, well, we can be sure of one thing.
Now is the time, now is the best time, now is the best time of your life. Life is a prize, live every minute. Open your eyes and watch how you win it. Yesterday's memories may sparkle and gleam. Tomorrow is still a dream. Right here and now, you've got it. The world's forward marching and you're in the parade. Now is the time, now is the best time. Be it the time of joy or strife. There's so much to cheer for, be glad you're near, for it's the best time of your life.
Well, it's autumn again and the kids are back in school. Thank goodness. Here we are in the frantic 40s and the music is better than ever. And it's amazing how our new kitchen wonders are helping to take over the hard work. Everything is improved. Electric range is better, refrigerators are bigger, and make lots more ice creams. But my favorite is the electric dishwasher. Now Mother spends less time in the kitchen and I don't have to dry the dishes anymore. Oh, I spend a lot of time here. Have to. Now the television has arrived, Grandma and Grandpa have taken over my den. Television has changed our lives. It's brought a whole new world of culture into our home.
Are you asleep, dear?
Well, to each his own. Right, sport? No, will improve and the kids will learn a lot from it. Right now, my son is more interested in models. Airplane models, that is.
Yeah! It works! It works!
I hear. And so do all the neighbors. Good work, son. Sports, knock it off. How about that? My son, the engineer. Well, okay, where was I? Oh, remember back in the 20s when young people got their exercise dancing at Charleston? Well, today, our daughter Jane keeps in shape with electricity.
Man, I'm having so much fun in my first year at college.
Have you been any seniors yet?
Oh, dozens. And Saturday I'm going to the dance with a real dreamboat.
Are you doing any of the new dances?
Oh, we still jitterbug. But I'm having some trouble with the rumba. I can't quite get the hip action. Oh, and listen.
Any more hip action and she'll disconnect something. Quiet, sports. You can never underestimate the power of a woman. And speaking of women doing things, Mother's caught up in the new do-it-yourself craze. She's remodeling our basement. It's something called a rumpus room. Mother's pretty ingenious, like using her food mixer for stirring paint. Oh, well, that's my wife, Sarah.
John,
Yes, dear.
I was just thinking
About what?
that if you hired a man to do this, wouldn't you pay him?
Well, of course, dear.
Then I should get equal pay.
Well, well, we might negotiate something later on.
When?
Now is the time, now is the best time.
You stay out of this. Well, if it's time for anything, it's time to move on. And it's time to sing the song again. Come on, everybody. Now is the time, now is the best time, now is the best time of your life. Life is a prize, live every minute. Open your eyes and watch how you win it. Yesterday's memories may sparkle and gleam. Tomorrow is still but a dream. But here and now, you've got it made. The world's forward marching and you're in the parade. Now is the time, now is the best time. A time of joy or strife. There's so much to cheer for. Be glad you're here, for it's the best time of your life. You know, this is the time of day I really love. Will you look at that sunset out there?
It was just breathtaking.
Great way to end a great year.
Really? It's beautiful, but I must say, having the whole family here together on this New Year's Eve is even more beautiful.
You know, dear, I think you're right.
Well, of course she is.
You tell him, Grandma.
I mean it. We're all healthy and together, and I think we're living in a wonderful time.
You really feel that way?
The 80s are a wonderful time.
Well, I'm in the 80s myself. My golf score, that is. Slice of that.
We have an awful lot to be thankful for.
Well, the old gal's right about that.
Grandpa, wait a minute. What about all those good old days of yours? The ones you're always raving about?
Yeah, they were good, all right, but I tell you, we had to spend quite a chunk of those good old days just taking care of essentials.
Oh, essentials. Glad you mentioned that. It's time for me to start my New Year's Eve spectacular. Omelette superbe avec jambon.
Not the famous omelette superbe avec jambon.
Known in other circles as ham and eggs.
Now, don't push it, sport. As for you two, whatever happened to respect for your elders?
I always wondered the same thing when you were growing up.
Well, you two can ponder that age-old question. But since it's almost dark, I think I'll put your recipe on memory and throw a little light on the subject.
Oh, Mom, while you're at it, will you touch the program scan? I'd like to see the New Year's Eve celebrations in Europe and the East.
Is it that time already?
Of course. Matter of fact, it's past that time in half the world.
Wow. The awesome things they teach these children nowadays.
Very funny.
Celebrating the New Year here in London. A large crowd is gathered.
Tremendous pace as happy Parisians welcome the New Year.
A happy holiday spirit fills the evening. We still have several hours before midnight here in the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. But already people from all over the world are celebrating.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
You can see fireworks lighting the
That's
sky.
great. You know, Mother, I feel like sending up some fireworks myself.
We really do have a lot to celebrate. And not just things either.
No, it's the whole quality of our lives.
Hey, it's great you two feel that way.
Why shouldn't we?
The world is getting more complex.
Really?
Well, today's always more complex than yesterday. Always has been.
But it's more exciting, too. Today we have so many more choices.
I think that's the best part.
Sure, today they're bringing good things to life that weren't even dreamed of a generation ago.
Oh, speaking of good things, sounds like it's time for our omelet superb avec jambon.
See? Even sports enthusiastic about the future. All right, fella, I get the message. And yes, dear, you're right. Now is the time.
Why don't we all sing it?
Now is the time, now is the best time, now is the best time of your life. Life is a prize, live every minute, open your eyes and watch how you win. Yesterday's memories may sparkle and gleam, tomorrow is still a dream. But here now, you can't make the world of money and
It is the Constitution that stands as America's shield of the monarchy and shines like a beacon for all men who long to be free. In the words of Walt Disney, tomorrow will be better as long as America keeps alive the ideals of freedom. Join us now in celebrating the spirit of America as we proudly present the All-America Parade. As a special part of our celebration, we have selected 6 families from across the nation to lead the parade. And now, please welcome our honorary Grand Marshals. From the great state of Pennsylvania, the Towillinger family. Representing the state of Michigan, please welcome Roy and Dina Gomez. State, California. Please join and grill adrenaline heaven.
Rocking along the sea, the
celebration.
Celebrate. 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 Celebrate freedom. Celebrate. Celebrate. Celebrate freedom. Celebrate. Celebrate freedom. People in this land. Celebrate. Celebrate freedom. Together we will stand. From the streets of New York to the hills of Tennessee. No matter how far you might roam, no matter how high you might fly away, there is no other land that thrills my heart like you. From your oceans to your mountains, majesties. One nation under God, by liberty. America, America, gotta make you free. You're my brother and you're my sister, together we will stand. Celebrate, celebrate freedom, people in this land. I love America, America. I love America.
Hello, everybody! Come on now, why don't you start putting your hands together? Because we're up here singing about this great country we all love, America! Now, there are 50 great states here in America, and I'm coming right out here to find out which ones are represented here today. Hi, sir, what's your name and where are you from? Isaac. Isaac. What state? Ashland. You must have come a long way. Was everybody having a good time? Ah, come on, y'all can do better, man. You having a good time? Well, all right. Because we're up here and we're having a great time singing and dancing about this wonderful country, America. Woo!
Celebrate, celebrate freedom, people in this land. Celebrate, celebrate freedom, together we will stand. You're my brother and you're my sister, together we will stand. Celebrate, celebrate freedom, people in this land. I love America, America. I love America. Oh, I love America. Celebrate.
Welcome to our celebration. We're celebrating this great country, America, and the 200th anniversary of our Constitution. 200 years. Wow.
And you know, if it weren't for that great document, we wouldn't have any of the rights we have as individuals today. Like the right to speak freely, and the right to protect our homes, and the right to bear arms.
Did he say bear arms?
Hey, that's right, guys.
Yeah, and the right to Fiber Day.
Well, that's important too, Wendell. But the best of all, you guys ready? Well, the best of all is the right to freedom. Freedom in a state like Reno, Virginia. Freedom in a custom town in time. Freedom is a flame that burns within ya. Freedom in the state of mind. Freedom, 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 freedom. Freedom is a flame that burns within ya. Freedom in the state of mind. Ba, 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 ba. Freedom in hope that's even without ya.
Freedom in rights you want to find.
Freedom is how ya think about ya.
Freedom is a state of mind.
Freedom, 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 freedom.
Freedom is how Freedom is the nation, freedom is the right of all mankind. Freedom is the body's imagination, freedom's in the state of mind.
Won't you write another lunch so I can hear a melody so fine? The whistle blows for everyone. The big parade has just begun. I'll make the Yankee Doodle tune all mine. I'm a clarinet, yeah. hulls and horns. White face, left face, about face. Now straighten up, guys. Chins up, stomachs in, shoulders back, knees straight. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa! March, anchors away, my boys, anchors away. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. Shoving right up again.
We got sunlight on the sand, we got moonlight on the sea. We got mangoes and bananas, we can pick right on the tree. We got volleyball and ping pong and a lot of dandy games. What ain't we got? We ain't got days.
Lots of things in life are beautiful, but brother.
There's one particular thing that is nothing whatsoever in any way, shape, or form like any other.
There is nothing like a day, nothing in the world. There is nothing you can name that is anything like there is nothing like a. There is nothing like a.
Hello there.
There is nothing like a.
Okay.
Nothing like a.
Woo!
Nothing like a.
Hello.
Nothing. Nothing.
Wisconsin. I'm Sailor Reed.
I'm Sailor Bird.
I'm Sailor Paul.
I'm Sailor Brown.
I'm Sailor Skip.
I'm Sailor Green.
Everybody follow me. Anchors away, my boys. Anchors away. Farewell to college joys. We sail and blink a day. Through our last night on shore. Anchors away. Until we meet once more.
4 years, Americans will be celebrating the 200th birthday of the most important document in our history, the United States Constitution. With its simplicity, eloquence, and guarantees of freedom and opportunity for all, the Constitution has stood the test of time. It belongs not just to Americans, but to freedom-loving people everywhere, and we invite them to join us now in this grand celebration.
America. That's where you can walk out your front door anytime you want to.
America, where you can greet a stranger and not be afraid.
Where you can reach as high as your dream can take you.
While other nations are building walls and fences to keep people from getting out, America still has people standing in line waiting to get in.
America has been called the land of the free, the cradle of liberty,
The place of opportunity.
the flame of freedom.
And the melting pot of the nations. To me, she's home.
Yankee-Doodle, keep it up. Yankee-Doodle dandy. Find the music and the step and with the go be happy. Yankee-Doodle, keep it up. Yankee-Doodle dandy. Find the music and the step and with the go be happy.
And there was Captain Washington upon a strapping stallion, giving orders to his men. I guess there were a million. Yankee-Doodle, come on, Yankee-Doodle dandy. Find the music and the step and with the girls be happy. Yankee-Doodle, come on, Yankee-Doodle dandy. Find the music and the step and with the girls be happy. America, America, my home.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union,
Establish justice and ensure domestic tranquility.
provide for the common defense, and promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity.
do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Thank you for joining us for this special celebration honoring America and the 200th anniversary of our Constitution. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day here in the Magic Kingdom.